So you want to have your knees about hip width apart, the heels coming into the buttocks, and then your arms are beside your body. If you've got anything under your head, please remove it. And we're going to start with a pelvic tilt. So just as we did from standing, just be aware of your pelvis. And you're going to just gently draw the back of the spine into the floor. So the tailbone might whisper off the floor, and then roll the pelvis down. I'm going to start to do this with the breath. So breathing out, the middle back comes more into the mat. Lower back slightly lifts. And then exhale and roll down. Sorry, I've got it's inhale and roll down. So it's exhale, swallow the back into the mat, inhale and roll down. And on the exhale, as the lower back or the mid back comes into the mat, just draw the navel to the spine. And then release. Just check your position. Feel that you're solid on your hands and your feet. Tuck the chin into the chest. And then inhale to lift the hips to come up onto the shoulders. Take a couple of breaths here. Lengthen the back of the neck, chin into chest, knees are stable. Exhale and roll down. And take yourself through that once or twice more, depending on your energy level. So do listen to the body. And when you've completed your movement, take one knee, then the other into the belly and just rock out the spine from side to side. I'm going to put something under my head at this point. So now have the knees into the belly, drop the hands down beside your hips, so the palms are on the floor. Become aware of the right leg and then take an in-breath and lift the right leg. And if you want to move more dynamically, open the back of the knee, flex the foot. Take a couple of breaths here. And then on an exhalation, bend the knee and bring the knee back into the belly. And then when you're ready, moving with the breath, breathing in, lift the left leg, open the back of the knee, flex the foot, take a couple of breaths, and then on an exhalation, bend the knee back into the belly. And do that once more to each side in your own breathing rhythm, or rest out if that feels more nourishing. So always paying attention to what the body is asking of you by keeping your awareness in the body, so you know when you need to rest. And remembering that what I am saying is only a suggestion, it's not an instruction. And then if you would like, we're going to breathe in, lifting up both legs, flexing the feet and taking the arms behind us. So that's if you would like a more open movement. Think about opening up from the back of the knees. Think about the toes coming down towards you. Keep the back of the neck long and remember to breathe. And then we're going to bend one knee, then the other into the belly. We're going to bring the hands back, beside the hips to the floor. We're going to drop the feet down to the floor, bringing the soles of the feet together as we open the knees to the side. Supta Baddha Konasana. Now, if you like, you can rest your hands on your belly, you can rest them beside you, or you can rest them over your head with the palms together. So experiment with those 3 arm positions and just hold your arms in a position which feels most comfortable for you. And then visualize that you're breathing into your groin, because this is really where the movement is. So you're opening up in the hip joint. And see if you can relax the small of the back. And then when you're ready, you can lift one knee, then the other, so the knees come together. Use your hands if that helps. And you might like to massage into the groin just to release any tension there. And then again, hug the knees into the chest, rocking out the spine from side to side. And then when you're ready, roll to one side. Just stay there for a moment. And then if you would like, I invite you to come up into a cat posture. And you can modify this by doing this from a chair. So in a cat posture, your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and then just adjust your posture. So you might like to take the hands slightly forward, because the Iyengar way was always hands under shoulders, but that's for male bodies, and for women, it's a little easier to take our hands forward. And then experiment, just bringing the weight over the hips, over the knees, over the wrist rather, until I would suggest you have more weight over the hips. So if you've not got too much on the wrists, spread the fingers, middle finger facing forward. Have a little bit of pressure in the fingertips, so you're not pressing down on the palm. And then just start by thinking about neutral cat. Just slightly draw the navel into the spine and make length. So you want to think of length between the crown of the head and the tailbone. And then we're just going to roll the pelvis one way, making circles. You can circle your pelvis slowly, with smaller movements, or you can make larger movements. So just do what your body feels is really nice for it. And then the other way. Again, really good for releasing the lower back, the pelvis and the hips. And then we can make a figure of 8 with our pelvis. Imagine you've got a figure 8 on the mat below you, and you're just drawing around that figure 8, that shape. And you can go one way, then the other. Try and isolate the pelvis if you can. So it's the pelvis moving rather than the whole of the body. And then coming back to neutral cat, just pause for a moment or two. And then we'll do some classic cat movements. So we're just going to lift the heart. Don't take the head too far back. And then as you exhale, round the spine, take the navel to the spine, drop the head. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, navel to spine. drop the head. So just a few movements like this in your own breathing rhythm. And then calming back to neutral cat. And then if it's comfortable for you, you can rest in pose of a child. So to do pose of a child, bring the toes together and open the knees slightly to make room for the diaphragm. Take your bottom towards your hips. If your bottom doesn't want to go there, you might like to place a block there or a cushion. And then you're just going to lift the heart and roll down. So head either comes to the mat or you make two fists and you rest on your fists. And if that's not comfortable, please rest on your back, because pose of the child is a relaxation posture, but it's not for everybody. And then when you're ready, please come to lying on your back, so in any way that's comfortable, and we'll go into our final Shavasana, our final relaxation.